Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Step Up to the Mic. This is the place for aspiring and established speakers to take the stage, deliver their talks, and bring them directly to you. Today's featured speaker is an author and is an enlightening communicator and artist making sense out of chaos, one heartwarming story at a time. Please welcome Dave Letterfly Knoderer.
Thank you, Rory. May I tell you a secret about the circus and reveal what really takes place behind the scenes? The circus is an ever-changing, living, breathing, sovereign organism of many members who travel the country together with one unified goal, and that is to please the audience no matter what it takes. Imagine you were seated in the tented arena waiting for the matinee performance to begin. The rigging overhead is like lace hanging from the many apparatus standing ready in the apex of the big top. The musicians tune up, giving us the sense of urgency that the show is about to begin. The stage is set. The performers are ready, and with just one whistle blast, the fanfare introduces the momentum that the magic is about to begin. And you may be pleasantly surprised to discover that the magic I refer to is all about leadership. The team that makes up this enterprise has to remain efficient. If there is one thing I learned during my 25 years of performing with the circus, it is the value, vision, and continuity inspired by outstanding leadership. Leaders know the way, steer the team, and empower everyone to co-create successful momentum together. Through thick and thin, we overcame all sorts of challenging situations together to deliver our product, which is entertainment. The effort of the entire circus family produced smiles, warm glows, a genuine connection, and heightened heartbeats. The grace of the beautiful aerialists mesmerized the audience. The trained horses delighted even the most aloof. The daredevil spiked everyone's blood pressure when he risked his life to thrill the audience. Does working with a team as diverse as this sound like something you do every day? Here's my promise. I will share with every one of you a startling, time-tested, practical formula for ensuring success with everyone you create products for, do business with, and team members with whom you co-create solutions. But before I go on with all of that, I need to ask you something. Would this wisdom, born from 1,000 spotlights, be valuable to you in your work? No, really, do think about it. Would this strategy help you overcome an existing challenge that has you stuck? And finally, would this mother lode of immense value help your company to grow? If the answer is yes to all of these, it will be my honor to share with you everything I know in the time we have together today, to teach you how to encourage your team to contribute their best with the goal of receiving a standing ovation. Let me take you on a journey into my life on the circus. As a classical horseman, my priority is to remain calm as I take my horse into the chaos of the ring. The irony is that the better we do, the more noise the audience makes. Of course, they roar, they applaud. To top it all, the band plays lively tunes while the drummer knocks his drum and bangs his cymbals to increase the ruckus even more. This turbulent environment is in direct contrast to the quiet of the barn where the initial training took place. The challenge in the arena is for the horse and rider to remain focused, connected, and to do the work that demonstrates discipline, dedication, and finesse that moves the audience. Like life itself, vicissitude is always present. My horse trusted me to provide him with guidance, confidence, and direction. Over time, we built the foundation for a good ethic based on trust. Not unlike training the horse, in the business world, the plan is created in the quiet of the conference room. But this very same strategy is tested and executed in the trenches of the real world. In the circus, the audience applauds when they are pleased. This is not unlike what you encounter every day. In your market, the customer demands near perfection from the output received. When delighted, they become a loyal customer. Let me ask you something. Just how are you meeting and exceeding the demands of your market? Let's go back to the circus. Under the big top, the music the band produces accompanies the graceful, synchronized, and thrilling efforts taking place. In your company, creative partners are just as important and must not be forgotten as an integral part of the show. So let me ask you this. What processes do you have in place that unearths the best of everyone? How do you encourage innovation? And finally, how do you and your team harvest top qualities from a diverse pool of talent and combine these valuable resources into one big cohesive whole? Leadership such as this takes focus and dedication, but above all else, requires the ability to recognize and encourage what is often hidden in your team members. Finding these valuable qualities is key to becoming an inspiring leader. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen of leadership. Don't you wish you could just push a button and discover the hidden talents of all your apathetic, unenthusiastic, inert, shiftless, uninterested, and lazy staff members and do something to improve morale? These hidden talents are buried deep beneath years of scar tissue from cubicle warfare, leadership retreats in windowless hotels, and the lingering PTSD of being asked to share one fun fact about yourself. Please realize that you have team members who hide their brilliance like Aunt Bertha hides her dominatrix costumes. Well, hold on to your swivel chairs. I have exciting news. At the circus-inspired Letterfly Laboratory of Leadership Lore, my troupe of willy-nilly tumblers who moonlight as a team of white-coated wizards has been working round the clock, well, between coffee breaks, paper airplane trajectory battles, and the occasional focus on existential crisis, to repurpose a time-honored formula that works. That's right. This miraculous solution can cure apathy in the workplace, raise morale around the coffee pot, and boost quarterly KPI into the stratosphere faster than you can say mandatory meeting. Introducing the Ultra Zesty Deluxe Talent Detector. Just wave it around the office and poof, you'll uncover the shy accountant who can juggle flaming torches in an Excel spreadsheet, the IT guy who writes eloquent poetry about motivational posters, and the intern who overcame conceit and secretly embraced humility but forgot to mention it on her resume. Hurry, hurry, step right up. Supplies are limited, egos are fragile, and enthusiasm is contagious. Are you ready to see how it works? This time-tested formula, proven on the limelight stages all across America and parts of Minnesota, is based on the three pillars of vulnerability, trust, and faith. Let's get serious now. As I mentioned before, uncovering hidden talents within your team members is like prospecting for gold. When you develop the ability to recognize the little shiny flakes in each one of your people, you have a responsibility to nurture those qualities into the valuable motherlode of potential that it represents. But not everyone likes to reveal sensitive and delicate aspects about themselves. This sort of intimacy is often riddled with the danger in the workplace. But this intimacy often also reveals value. So why do we remain reluctant? Let's start with the first pillar. Vulnerability is the foundation of everything. You may be asking, why would something transparent be so valuable? What interferes with vulnerability? Let me ask you something. Tell me if this sounds familiar. In the boardroom, everyone is deathly afraid of looking like an idiot. They are reluctant to ask the first or any question. Nobody wants to look like a fool. The opposite of being transparent is remaining shielded from any form of embarrassment, and no one benefits. But opening the dialogue with an engaging question is the best way to kickstart the experience and promote a productive session. In a healthy meeting, all questions are welcomed, listened to, validated, and shared so everyone builds upon what is being discussed. This dynamic promotes breakthroughs and levels of achievement with all the members of your team. These courageous question askers should be rewarded. Whoever admits they don't get it are the brave ones. They put the team first and remain sincere about promoting momentum by being transparent about themselves. I learned this under the big top. When a mistake occurs at the circus, everyone notices. When the horse makes a misstep and does not accomplish the obvious, his trainer does not get embarrassed. He simply asks again while acknowledging the audience. When the desired result occurs, he praises his horse lavishly to the delight of everyone looking on. Why can't we, in the boardroom, utilize this same strategy that actually qualifies as loving behavior? Listen up. You can learn something from the circus because the same approach is successful in the workplace. When we no longer value compliance or avoid looking foolish, we can begin to lead with behaviors that support others, builds cohesion, and ensures excellence during the next high-stakes exchange. Transparency is key in both the circus ring and in the corporate world. When forward momentum is valued by all the members of the team, many amazing things begin to happen. I know this sounds risky, but if you want amazing results, if you like the idea of a cohesive connection with others, and you want something you have never received before, you must do things, behave, and take actions you have never done before. That's how you grow. It becomes your strategic advantage. That's how you build an extraordinary team. And at the height of your performance, those around you sit up and notice. You pause and enjoy a standing ovation. Now let's move into the second pillar, trust. How many fires do you put out in the course of a week? Is there any escape from the drama of humanity that unfolds all around us? What is the cause of the erosion that made mistrust so prevalent? When a horse is selected to become a circus star, the training always starts in the quiet of the barn. That's where trust begins. The goal is for the horse and rider to move as one, and it works both ways. Your partner follows you, and you lead your partner. The exchange of trust evolves into connection. Repetition, while muscles are developed, teaches the horse what is expected, but trust is what it takes to open up the portal for the next step to occur. When the transition from the safety of the training barn to the challenge of the performance arena finally takes place, the trust developed has no equal and parlays into the payoff. Let's face it, the circus ring is a scary place for a young horse. When a horse is introduced to performing in the ring, he must first be conditioned to tolerate the rigors and accept the chaos of the unpredictable spikes in the audible and visual bombardments that continually take place. There is no upside to shielding the horse from calamity. Instead, the horse trainer's first responsibility is to remain calm and available to lead, and above all else, remain a loving foundation for trust to continue to thrive. Indulge me as I compare the circus ring with the intricacies of your diverse global team, boardroom, classroom experience, business cluster, operational hub, or logistics experience. Is a healthy environment built on trust something that you would like to implement with your team? If the answer is yes, the truth is going to hit the fan. The first portion is certainly consistency, but without trust, repetition can easily erode into boring routine, leading to complacency and an indifferent attitude. When the vision remains clear, coupled with consistent helpful guidance, that's how you build trust with your team and remain upwardly progressive and competitive while gaining admiration from everyone in the audience. Trust in business has a profound effect, not unlike what takes place in the performance venue. The brass band combines with the dramatic lighting to enhance the output taking place in the ring. The performers respond with confidence as the result of consistent leadership that creates a healthy environment of trust that leads to excellence. Trust is a must, and trust goes both ways. The stakes between you and your team are incredibly high. Just like at the circus up on the high wire, although balance between everyone involved is the first thing you see, an unshakable foundation of trust remains paramount to the success of the entire operation. And now, let's talk about the third and final pillar. A generally understood definition of faith is confidence in something unseen. This is what you don't know about me. When you look at me speaking in front of you today, please realize it hasn't always been this way. I was a reluctant child, socially inept, and terrified to talk. I came from a frustrating family situation in which there was no explanation for the bizarre behavior coming from my older brother. Today, he has been diagnosed as Asperger's. Back then, I only knew to remain in the shadows. Forget about teamwork. I was only interested in being safe, and that meant I had to remain self-sufficient and away from the judgmental eyes of the community in which I grew up. Fortunately, I found one little pocket of relief. Despite being reluctant socially and not daring to interact in our home and feeling like I was on a dead end, I found a place where I could be me, contribute with my talents, and be appreciated. That was my leap of faith. I found a place to take action and thrive. My question to you is, how will you take action? When will you start? What will your leap of faith look like? So far in this talk, we have covered vulnerability and trust. The final essential ingredients are to have faith and take action. These two parts will build confidence that will also connect with everything. You have to have faith in your talents, intuition, your team, and your purpose as a leader, and then you must take appropriate actions. From the time I was 7, when the circus came to town every year, I was up early and I did everything I could to fit in for the day, helping spread the canvas, set up the tents, doing odd jobs, selling popcorn, and helping tear down at the end of the day. What I found was a solution for being inept, reluctant, and scared. The circus became a place of recognition, acceptance, and welcome. My willingness segued into my discovery of the value of teamwork, personal integrity, and the kind of leadership that celebrates differing skills to heighten the magic of the circus. This is not unlike the living, breathing organization that you lead every day. The diversity of the circus personnel is as profound as can be found in any team today. The trainer of the lions and tigers who connects on an ethereal plane contrasts with the goofy antics of the clowns. The daring young men on the flying trapeze dancing aloof with danger contrasts with the grace and charm of the beautiful aerialists. Don't forget the dark mysticisms of the magicians, the horse trainers who connect with their majestic animals, and those band masters who command the musical spectrum, all held together by the larger-than-life presence of the ringmaster himself. I was learning that integration into this vast cross-section of humanity was going to be a challenge, and joining the circus ended up being the best thing I ever did. The show must go on, are words to live by. I invite you to lead with vulnerability, allow others to see the real you, embrace trust, and project the desired outcome from your colleagues. Commit to having unshakable faith in yourself and in your team members. Remember that the performance that prompts the eruption of applause does not have to be perfect. Let's go back to the circus. The spotlight is on the juggling star. He has already masterfully demonstrated keeping 3, 5, and even 7 hoops up simultaneously in the air. He now pauses before he attempts the impossible. The revved up audience is at the edge of their seats. You could cut the tension in the air with a knife. He grabs two more hoops. He warms up his hands. After overcoming the final apprehension that keeps us all wondering, he makes his attempt, but he fails. Ashamed, he sulks away. But in the shadows, something comes over him. He straightens up. He acknowledges his limitation to the crowd as he picks up the hoops that lay scattered on the ground. Then, after mustering up strength from an unseen source, he steps back into the center of the ring and resumes his dedication to the crowd. One more time, he gets ready and then puts everything he has into getting all those hoops in the air. With the determination of a bull and the animation of a Gatling gun, this time he does it. With all 9 hoops impossibly cascading over him, in addition to doing it, he radiates a pride and then adds something unexpected. He concludes the awe-inspiring spectacle of luminescence artistry by rapidly catching each hoop one at a time and placing them over his head. With the stack around his neck and grinning from ear to ear, he steps forward with his arms wide open. The crowd erupts with deafening applause. He takes his bow as the audience continues their adulation and rises to their feet. This is what transparency, trust, and faith look like in action, because the show must go on.
Dave, Letterfly, Knoderer, everybody. Dave, that was absolutely wonderful. I love the way you connected those things. If you don't mind me asking you a couple of questions, what first led you to connect the life and the operation of the circus to corporate America like that?
It had to do with learning my social skills with horses. See, as I mentioned in the talk, I was reluctant as a child in the regular normal social circles that occur, like at school and in the playground and stuff, because all the kids were picking on my older brother.
Hmm,
So I was reluctant, but thank goodness at the circus I connected initially to animals. And so yeah, and I credit the horses with teaching me the my initial relationship skills. I call it relationship 101.
nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice. All right, I love that. Now you've written 5 books, is that right?
I've got 5 books. Yeah, 2 more in the works. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, can you give us just a quick idea? Are those about leadership? Are those about life in the circus? Just, what are the topics that you cover in those books?
Well, 3 of them are memoirs.
Ah,
There's a series, I'm writing a series of 5 memoirs, and 3 of them are complete. Um, and one of them starts when I was in my teenage years, and it covers a period of a little bit over a decade, and it's solid circus. And then the one after that uh, takes the reader through my evolution into an artist, and even uh, graduating into an upper echelon of horsemanship, because horsemanship has always been a passion of mine.
sure.
And then the book that I'm working on now is the next one in the series, and that it's pretty much a love story. It has to do with my third horse that I took from a scared young horse and trained him to do the stuff that the performing that for his circus act, and then took him to the circus and all the way through, taking him through all, introducing him to the chaos, and then developing our ability together and connecting each other with each other and performing uh, in all over North America, and even competing at the International Circus Talent Competition in Sarasota and winning first place.
Wow.
And and then all the way through when the circus in America began to phase out the inclusion of horses in their performances, and my career as an artist took off, and I became a a mural. My primary gig during 20 years was putting murals on the backs of motorhomes, and so that's when the horse became more of a hobby and a lawn ornament. And then I the and then in his senior years, he develops a problem in his feet, and then which and ultimately leads to the inevitable, which was when it was time to put him down. So it's a
Sure.
love story that takes the reader all the way from the very, very beginnings of our relationship all the way through the very end. Yeah, and the lessons that I learned from that wonderful horse and the connection that occurred.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a love story.
Wow. All right. Looking forward to those.
And
Now,
there
go
are
ahead.
two guidebooks. One of my customers inspired me because I'm a traveling artist, like you mentioned, and I live the RV lifestyle, travel throughout the Midwest during the summer months and spend the winter in Florida at my home. And one of my customers said, Dave, you are living the dream, traveling the country, doing what you love, and making people happy with what it is that you do. You should write a book on how to do that. So I did. I wrote this book. It's called Hit the Road and Thrive: Seven Secrets for Living the Dream. And it's for people that need a leg up off of their couch. Maybe they have this desire to someday hit the road and live a life of adventure and just don't know what the first thing to do is. So it's just designed to help people. And I've made it available. I made the manuscript available for free. All your listeners have to do is go to the website daveletterfly.com, and they can get the download for free.
That's wonderful. That's exactly where I was going. You're a step ahead of me, brother. So I
Ah,
appreciate it. We'll make sure that that link is in the show notes, folks, so that you can find it. It is a free download, like Dave just said, and definitely check it out and look it up. And we're looking forward to it. Dave, that's you covered so much ground, man. You really did. And I just want to tell you, as someone who's been in corporate America, when you talked about the PTSD of, one fun fact about yourself, I mean, I laughed out loud over here. I'm glad I had the mute button on because, man, you hit me right in the heart with that one. I was like, oh, I remember those days. But you really do connect this to people who are out there working. I appreciate what you're doing, man.
Good. I'm at the point now where I'm pretty much my purpose in life is to find ways to be a blessing to the rest of the world.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right, brother. I appreciate you very much. Author, artist, and enlightening communicator, making sense out of chaos, one heartwarming story at a time. Dave Letterfly, Knoderer, I appreciate you coming on today, brother, and thank you so much for doing a great talk and sharing everything with our folks.
Thank you, Rory. I appreciate being here.
You got it. Folks, this has been another spectacular episode of Step Up to the Mic. If you're an aspiring or current speaker and you want to bring your talk to the masses, message us today. Never stop talking and let us help you to step up to the mic.